Hi everyone, welcome back to Sports Kati. I am Vaishak here and with me is Rohit.
Hi everyone.
We are concentrating a bit on the English Premier League restart today. There is an exciting race for the Champions League and the Europa League spot. As a Manchester United supporter, I clearly know what Rohit's opinion would be on the final standings. But we are not discussing that for the day. On popular request from few of our friends, we would like to throw some light on FPL, the fantasy game of the English Premier League. I have been playing FPL for the first time this year, and what I observed is that there are far too many cards, chips, and strategies to play this game. And also, there are events like double game weeks, even triple game weeks, if I'm right. And naturally, game weeks with few teams not playing as well. That way, FPL is very, very complicated for a beginner. I think it would be better if Rohit can share his experience of playing FPL.
Yeah, sure. Before I share about FPL and what to look forward, I first want to share what my credentials in the FPL world is. I have been playing this game for 9 years now. First few years, I used to play it very casually. And when I say casual, I did not even know how price changes work or how to distribute funds in a team. But then it has changed. In the last 3-4 years, I've been taking it much more seriously, mainly because I have colleagues and friends who played and winning has become more of a bragging right. And so last year, I managed to finish in the top 10K, like 7,200 to be exact. This year so far has been poor. I'm currently ranked at 417,000. I started the season really slow. I missed the Lundstrom train initially and then later the Wardy train. But then, just like Manchester United, I started picking up momentum from the turn of the year and was shooting at, say, around top 100,000. I had it all planned with my chips and wildcard. But then, due to the abrupt closure, I'll have to now revise my plan, like many of you will have to. Anyways, today I will be discussing with you about how or what my plans with FPL restarting is. We'll start off with what the rules are. We'll go through what chips are available for us now with the restart coming in. And I will share my strategy for the FPL. I will not be discussing in depth into my team onto exactly who my players are going to be, as that will really depend on the team news, the pre-match press conferences, etc. But then I will share the pool of players I'm looking into, and even the general strategy going forward. I will talk about that also. Vaishak, can you give us through what the rules for FPL restart is regarding the fixtures, transfers, and chips?
I mean, I did read the rules that was published by the official website. So it talks about allocating a new game week with a plus suffix. Now, I don't care about the new name. In short, the schedule has changed. So we need to check the new schedule for the preceding game week. Now, as it newly called game week 30 plus is a double game week with a starting midweek game, which is Aston Villa hosting Sheffield United and Manchester City hosting Arsenal. As this is a restart, we are allowed to make unlimited transfers till restart. And it also said prices won't change till the deadline of the game week. That is, till the deadline of game week 30 plus, the prices won't change. The unused cards and chips, that were available before the break will still be available, and it can be used anytime before the end of the season. I mean, that's all I read. I mean, that's all I could understand. I could say the obvious things. But what I think what really is needed right now is, if you can throw a bit more light into the strategy.
All right. Coming to the strategy. So firstly, let's look at the fixture sheet with the difficulty ratings as per the official FPL website. So when you look at the fixtures, it is clear that we are going to have only one double game week going forward, and that will be in game week 30 as soon as we come back. So my strategy is used to use the unlimited transfers to bring in as many double game week players, that is players from Aston Villa, Manchester City, Arsenal and Sheffield as possible, and play bench boost in game week 30. Then I have my wild card still remaining, so I will use it in game week 31 to prepare for the rest of the game weeks. I have already used my triple captain, but I still have my free hit remaining. Now, when to use the free hit is not decided yet, but then I will wait to see how the teams are doing and possibly play this once I get a better understanding of the teams. So possibly in the last 3 to 4 weeks. As of today, I'm looking at the last week to play my free hit because Manchester City hosts Norwich, so that should be high scoring game. And also Liverpool is playing Newcastle, and as the champions, they also will be, I think, it will be an open game. So I'm expecting to play my free hit the last game week, but then let's see how it comes.
I think, there are many without a wild card in hand right now. Like, how do they need to strategize going forward?
Now that will be definitely trickier. But my advice will be still to play the bench boost in game week 30. It's very important to use the best chip. Bench boost is the best chip we have in the game. So use it during the double game week. You can maximize your points. So even if you do not have wildcard, I would still advise you to play the bench boost in game week 30. But then definitely do not go full 12 players from the 4 teams, but rather go for 7 to 8 players from those teams. Arsenal has good fixtures going forward, so that might be a team you can look to have 3 players. If in case you do not have a bench boost, but have triple captain, then definitely that is the best opportunity to play the triple captain. So the choices are open. My advice is always to maximize the double game week. So if you have bench boost, play bench boost. If you do not have bench boost, if you have triple captain, then play triple captain.
I think bench boost is a bit tricky to be used. So like if someone wants to use the bench boost, do you have any advice on what players might be good picks in this double game weeks? So who can be avoided so that all of them play?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, the teams which are playing double game week are Manchester City, Aston Villa, Sheffield United, and Arsenal. Now here I'm sharing a list of the players who I am looking to bring in for the double game week. Now this is just to remind you, this is a living file. So I'm still building on it. So I'm just adding players, I'm doing researches, and I'm looking at it and seeing, who to bring in and who not to. So this list will expand as the time goes on. But yes, this is my initial list for now.
Okay. I do understand that that is a very good list of players for double game week. So you seem to have put a lot of money on Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like they are quite expensive players. Do you think they are that valuable?
The reason why I have single week players, because Alexander-Arnold and Salah does not have double game week on week 30. I still have them in my team is simply because I have a lot of money invested in them. So if I transfer them out, I would definitely want them back in my team going forward because, they are in the top 5 players with points given so far this season. So I would want them in my team. So I'll have to bring them back and then I have to pay more for that. So that's the only reason I'm trying to form a team with these players in my team. But then I do not know because especially with Salah, there is 12 point. I think I bought him for 12.2. So I have 12.2 million invested in him. Now I do not know whether I can make a team that has Salah in it. If in case I have to remove him, then he'll be the first to be taken off. But I would still keep Alexander-Arnold going forward.
Now, one thing I like with Fantasy Bundesliga, I play that, is that you can finalize your transfer right before the kickoff. So like what that means is that you see the lineup for the first match or matches if the kickoff is not on Friday, and there will be few matches that are kicking off. So what that helps you, to avoid the players who are not featuring, as much as possible, you can avoid them. But even in that sort of a case, that sort of a scenario, here we are starting with Aston Villa, Sheffield United. And I think most of the people, including me, are concerned with Manchester City. Like, is Sterling worth his price tag? Isn't Cancelo a valuable asset looking at what his price tag is? But more importantly, the question is, will they play? Also, who's the best option for captaincy in game week 30?
Interesting, yes. Firstly, I'll talk about the City players. In a normal scenario itself, it is impossible to predict who Pep will play in his 11 and who he will not. So, now that given that there are 5 subs allowed and a fixture every third day, and also City does not have much to play for in the league. So I would really suggest, if you're going for City players, go for those fixed options such as Ederson, because he will be the keeper who will be playing. I expect KDB to play. Sterling is someone who has played and who has a high stamina, so I expect him to play back-to-back matches. So these are the 3 options I find favorable from City. Now, a second defender, because I will choose Ederson as my goalkeeper. So a second defender, if I'm going Ederson, that is. A second defender in Cancelo, it is very difficult because those wing backs, they have too many options. So I really do not know, who among them will be playing as wing backs. Rather, I would suggest, maybe looking at Laporte, because Laporte was the first choice centre back, but then obviously he got injured and missed half the season. Now that he is back, I believe he is back, he should start. So, but then again, I would suggest let's wait for the pre-match press conference from the managers and especially from Pep and see who is fit and who is not fit before even making a decision there. Coming to your second question regarding the captaincy, Aubameyang is a very good option for captain, and if you're in case if you're triple captaining, then yes, he can be the player who can be who you can use a triple captainship. The catch about Arsenal is that they have 3 away games to start with, and they also have the shortest turnaround time of all the teams playing double game week. So you can expect some tired legs, but I would expect Aubameyang to start the matches, but maybe not play the entire match. So, early substitution might happen to him, but I don't see him getting substituted before 60th minute. So for me, the safest captain is Aubameyang. City players are always an attractive option for captaining. KDB is definitely a good option to go for as a captain. Sterling, if you like to take a punt, because Sterling is prone to rotation. So because City has options there. Aguero is a very good captain option also, because Aguero can haul big. And these matches, Aguero can score a hat-trick against Arsenal also. So Aguero is a very good punt to go for as a captain. If you have to catch up some points, maybe Aguero might be an option.
Now, talking about rotation of players, I was looking at the stats of Bundesliga players post-restart, to see how they have been rotated. So there are a few numbers, 45 matches since restart. Forwards have played an average of 76.87 minutes. While if you go to wingers, that is 72.94. And if you look at the attacking midfielders, it's 74.77. While you go to the defenders, if it is fullback, it's 83.98, and centre backs is as high as 86.91. And there have been no goalkeeper injuries. So of course, goalkeepers, they have never been substituted. So it's a whole 90. Now again, this will vary a lot from team to team. It will also depend on the situation of the match, the possible injuries and other factors. And also, what we talked about is Aubameyang. So if Aubameyang is substituted, taken in, then it must be mostly because Arsenal is leading. And if Arsenal is leading, then there is a great chance that Aubameyang is someone who has scored as well, isn't it?
True, exactly. And also, just to say, that's a great insight from Bundesliga. I can take that into consideration for my selection of the team also.
Going post game week 30, what is your strategy? Which players will you be looking at?
Okay, I haven't gone that far in my planning yet, as I'm still trying to see how to get my team for game week 30. But going forward, Manchester United have favorable fixtures all the way through till the last week when they play Leicester. So they'll be one team I'll be loading up on. And given they will be chasing the Champions League spot, so I would expect them to play their best 11 week in, week out. Also, as I mentioned earlier, Arsenal have some good fixtures. Spurs is another team with good fixtures. So, this is early because I haven't looked, into the fixtures much. I will have to look more deeper into the wildcard plan for week 31. But my first priority is for this game week.
I think we covered pretty much the main topics as much as we can. And, guys, if you can leave your inputs in the comment section on who should be in the squad for game week 30, that would be really good. Let us know your opinion. And we can also try answering a few minor questions in the coming episodes. Can't we, Rohit?
Oh, yes. If there's any interesting question, then we should surely look into it and share.
I think we forgot to say this last time. If you like our content, please don't forget to like and share the videos with your friends. And if you would like to receive notifications on similar content, then please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, stay safe.